Hello and welcome. This is Gray Hughes of Gray Hughes Investigates on YouTube. This channel evaluates all aspects of true crime. As you are aware, videos and live streams in this genre often discuss elements of crime that may be disturbing to some viewers. If necessary, take the precautions needed to avoid these feelings. Factual information related to cases is the key to fostering rational true crime discussions. Fortunately, you will find that here. Please hit the like button only once, share the video, and subscribe if you like my content. Thank you very much for watching.
Huh? It's a house!
Did you hear what I said? There's mosquitoes the size of bald eagles in that dadgum swamp.
You know, that's just one step above stupid.
Yo, what the hell's going on? I think I gotta turn on my Wi-Fi to get the dog camera going. I don't know, maybe it'll show up, maybe not. Oh, there it is. All right. How's it going, everybody? Got some, before we get started here, this is from, just because I wasn't able to show the receipt. He sent me the receipt today. There it is, you guys, from yesterday. Project Cold Case. It says date March 15th, 2026. Ray Hughes, 500. And there you go. All right. So, just to, I always prove every one of them. People are always like, I don't know. I mean, show me proof that he sent something. Well, there it is right there. Okay. So, we sent 500 into the Project Cold Case. Hey, Cheryl Bullock, you got your second place this time. Thank you, though. Thank you. And thanks, Wild Bill Wassman. Yeah. All right, here's the article that was out today. It said FBI agents on Nancy Guthrie case zeroing in on two key dates. Days before she was abducted. I think this is the guy. This guy right here was the one that was standing behind the sheriff there. Tony's been stealing your Wi-Fi? Wow. Investigators searching for Nancy Guthrie are reportedly zeroing in on evidence from two specific dates in the days before she vanished, suggesting her kidnappers may have been casing out her Arizona home for weeks before the crime. Yeah, but I mean, how do they... I mean, here's the thing, is like, they want to look at those dates. What are they seeing? You know, I wonder if there's CAS data, you know, that's showing a particular vehicle, you know, but not the night of the homicides, but on different nights. You know, before, because usually people forget, they don't turn off their phone when they're just surveilling. They don't think, oh, wow, they'll be able to see that I was here. But maybe it's something like that. I mean, I'm not sure. We are okay. What does that mean, Zoli? Where do these comments come from? They're just so random. We are okay. I had this crazy guy in front of me driving today. I was pulling out of across one street, two-way road onto another two-way going the other way. And this car was way over there, but when I turned, he was getting closer because he was going way too fast. So as he's about to go by me, I honked my horn like, hey, I don't even know if this guy's even... I mean, he just sort of blew by me, and then he slowed down right in front of me, you know. And then we drove further up to a light, and then he sort of got into a different lane, so I got in behind him because he wanted me to pull up next to him. Then we go through another one, and he kind of pulls over, and I get behind him again, and he goes over to this right lane, and then I get there, and then after he goes through the green light, I go over, took a left. That guy was crazy, man. He put his head out the window and was yelling, like, ah, whoa, 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 whoa. My God, how about you slow down a little bit? Anybody here again? It's just, nobody's chatting yet again on here. It's just wild. Let's try to get some chatting going. Type, communicate, do something. You know, the guy that said we are okay was 6 comments ago. That was like 5 minutes ago. Yeah, I didn't have a gun or anything. I was just saying, the guy seemed nuts though. Like, what would he have done if I had pulled up next to him? You know, I don't know. It's weird. Yeah, well, there's lunatics out there for everybody. I mean, I was honking my horn because he was flying. I didn't know if he was even awake. He was just didn't seem to be paying attention. Anyways, the FBI has been asking the 84-year-old's Tucson neighbors for any home security footage that may have from they may have is what they meant to type in there. That they may have from January 11th and January 24th. I mean, those are kind of random dates. It was January 11th, that one date that they had before. I don't remember. And Brian Entin got that. Agents were adamant about those dates as they spoke with neighbors. So we do have, I'm going to play like the interview here.
Hey guys, thanks so much for checking out my show. I travel every week for stories pretty much, but I don't think I've ever stayed 42 days in one place nonstop. The Idaho murders, Guthrie case, and I don't think it's going cold, by the way. Some of you have asked me that. But she told me that the detective Guthrie case, and I don't think it's going cold, by the way. Some of you have asked me that. I think it's taking some time.
He's been there every day, too.
I think there's going to be movement overall.
Crazy.
But in this episode, a really interesting interview. This is a neighbor who I haven't interviewed before. Her name is Laura. She had some really interesting new information that I hadn't heard before. One is she started telling me about a new date that FBI agents are asking about and Pima County Sheriff's detectives. Remember, and you're going to hear her full interview in a second, but remember we knew about January 11th. We knew that they were keying in on January 11th and that they were asking neighbors for video from January 11th if they had seen anything suspicious on January 11th. So we knew that. But she told me that the detectives have also been asking her about January 24th, which is the first I've heard of this. January 24th would have been the Saturday before Nancy went missing. So 8 days before Nancy went missing. And again, you're going to hear her explain this. But she said specifically they were looking for video from that day. They actually helped her go through her cameras to see if she had anything suspicious on them from January 24th. It's interesting that that's on a weekend and that
Why are we talking about the guy with the backpacks again? That was just a bullshit story that TMZ put out there for views. It had nothing to do with anything. They even manufactured and purposely misled people by claiming that the camera in front of the house is what filmed somebody at 2:12. I mean, it was such a joke what they said. There's no way that that's what happened.
January 11th is also on a weekend. It's just kind of stood out to me. I don't know if they think that this suspect may have been someone who worked during the week that would come and case the neighborhood on the weekends.
I don't know what you're talking about, Maribel. What is your take on the item visible, the thing visible in the video to the right of PG? Who's PG? Please don't start using porch guy. Please, you guys. Let's not get too, like, you're so in that we're going to say that. When he's holding, I mean, you know what's weird is like bridge guy and now we have porch guy. Come on, you guys. That's such a lame name. When he's holding up the shrubbery, there's something that appears next to his arm. Yeah, we've already gone over that. That's not anything. Yeah, that's just another piece of the. It's another piece of the plant. We've actually did a whole segment on that. No. What are you talking about? That doesn't answer my question. The backpack thing had nothing to do with anything. Let's see. Sorry, it was the only thing that came to mind. Let's just not use porch guy, you guys. Please. Yeah, I can go. I have to open up the video, though. Hold on. I didn't ask you to tell me about the backpacks. All right, let's see. They released video of the other guy with the... What does that mean? We already know that. That was a long time ago. I don't understand how that's answering my question. You're just always so frustrating to me. I don't understand you most of the time. Sorry. All right. So you're talking about this right here. Watch. You're thinking about right there, right? Yeah, that's just part of the plant, too. Now you'll go, no way, Gray, no way, Gray. Yeah, I've actually proved that's part of the plant. Okay, watch this. You see how bright this looks right here? This thing, it looks like a light or a phone or something. It's the same brightness as this right here on the upper left. It just looks brighter because it's surrounded by darkness. But if you watch it, it moves with, see the plant above it? Watch this. It goes up with, watch it, ding, ding, ding. It goes up right with that same plant. And what it is a piece of the plant that's really close to the camera lens. And so it lit it up like that. We can find other times, for example, right here. Look how bright that part is right there of the same plant. Even just right at the end there. Look at that. Whoa! God, that must be a cell phone there. Yeah, it's the same thing. So that isn't a special item. And look how it doesn't stay lit right there. See that? Because it got further away from the camera because it's the plant. All right? Just let me know when you realize, oh, okay, that explains it. Type that in. Because if you disagree at this point, I can't help you and I won't debate with you any further. All right? Right.
That I don't know, but I know that they have been interested in January 24th, which is new, and that they were also interested in January 11th. And again, you're going to hear her explain that in a second. The other interesting thing she brought up to me, which hasn't been discussed much, is that Nancy Guthrie had a security gate on her front door. If you look at this, you can see it. There's like a gate, and many of you guys probably have these.
What do you mean those are the dates on those videos? What are you referring to, Elena? So I'm reading your comment again. I'm just trying to make it, you said... The 11th and 17th are on the dates of those videos. What are those videos? They only had one video of the guy with the backpack. Remember? He wasn't related to anything. What's the other video?
They're pretty common, but there was like a gate on the front door with a lock.
Thanks, Wild
and
Bill.
Then you can see her... her normal door is behind it, but there's a security gate in the front.
I just said that,
And
Hillbilly.
Laura brought
Thanks.
up an interesting point to me, and she just like knows the neighborhood. She has a security gate. She said, when those are locked, they're really, really difficult to get through. So she does not believe that the suspect...
I explained to you that it's the camera lighting it up. You don't need to explain it any further.
...we saw on video was trying to get into Nancy's house through the front door, because she says if that security gate was locked, it wouldn't have worked out. It would have been very, very difficult.
Okay, let me play this.
They're pretty common, but there was like a gate on the front door with a lock, and then you can see her, her normal door is behind it, but there's a security gate in the front.
Yeah.
And Laura brought
Those are really hard to get through.
up an interesting point to me, and she just like knows the neighborhood. She has a security gate. She said,
Yeah, it's just one of these kind of, it's not a gate. It's, well, I mean, you can call it whatever you want to call it. It's just these, see this metal portion in the front here, and then I guess there's a door behind it. That's really common. People do that. Hey, thanks, Chris O'Connell. Thank you. But, Lane, if you're out there, if you could explain what you were talking about, let me know. I don't have any idea.
when those are locked, they're really, really difficult to get through. So she does not believe that the suspect who we saw on video was trying to get into Nancy's house through the front door.
Yeah, I've said this. I've said this since the beginning, you guys. I've never thought he was trying to get through the front door. Why is this like revelation?
They're pretty common, but there was like a gate on the front door with a lock.
Yeah.
And then you can see her, her normal door is behind it, but there's a security gate in the front. And Laura brought up an interesting point to me, and she just like knows the neighborhood. She has a security gate. She said, when those are locked, they're really, really difficult to get through. So she does not believe that the suspect who we saw on video was trying to get into Nancy's house through the front door.
Yeah, is that new to somebody in here? Anybody? Is that new to anybody in here? That portion right there. Yeah, I mean, here's what this is the reality of it. The person went to the door to remove the camera because they're going to be parking their car right there. Then they went around to the back, and that's how they exited the house. So it's weird how, like, this is breaking news somehow, Wild.
Because she says if that security gate was locked, it wouldn't have worked out. It would have been very, very difficult. She believes that there may have been someone inside the house already that was about to take Nancy out,
T-Moral.
like an accomplice, and that he's at the front door.
There's some things that are facts, T-Moral. Yeah, that's a fact. Some things are true.
Or waiting for them to open the door, waiting for that person to open the door so that he can assist in bringing Nancy out the front door, but that they didn't gain entry through the front door because of that security gate, she believes, which, when you think about it, does make sense, because those security gates, if it was locked, would be difficult to get through. And I hadn't thought about that series of events and that possibility and the way she described it.
Yeah, I wouldn't even base it on that, though. That's the thing.
Makes sense. And you'll hear her, again, explain that in detail in this interview. And one last thing, remember the pictures that we have from the front of the suspect, one of them we know is from around when Nancy went missing, and the other one, I am told, despite the sheriff sort of pushing back on this, but I have a good source on it.
I think the first one you could literally say is right around 147 or 8, right around that time. It's right then.
That they believe it's from a previous day. Whether that day is January 11th, whether that's January 24th, I don't know, but it is
That's the image where he doesn't have the backpack on.
Interesting to me, again, that they are keying in on January 11th and January 24th as two very specific dates that are also on weekends, by the way. Something else, many of you have been sending me pictures of the billboards that you're seeing now, the Find Nancy Guthrie billboards. Remember in the beginning, there hasn't been a press conference in so long, but when the FBI were part of that initial press conference, they said that there were going to be billboards like this. We weren't sure exactly where they were going to go. I know that there are some, just because you've messaged me, in the Houston area, outside Houston. I know that there's one in Southern California, these electronic billboards. So it is kind of interesting that they're not focused on just Arizona, but they seem to be popping up kind of all over the region and in other states. And I know that some of them were up this weekend because you guys saw them. So I want to get to my interview with Laura because, again, there's a lot that she talked about that I hadn't heard before. Also a really, really nice lady. I was nice meeting all these people in the neighborhood who I'm still in touch with constantly. So I wanted you guys to hear my conversation with Laura. What are your thoughts? I mean, it's now, been more than 40 days. Where's your mind at right now?
Yes, this is the neighbor right there. And this is on Brian Entin's show. It's called FBI Interested in Weekend Before Nancy Guthrie Went Missing.
I think I've appreciated
It's weird. It seems like it's coming
having
out
a little bit of a break the last week or
one
two,
side only.
where it's
Maybe I'll take this and I think it'll sound better if we don't have it like that. Just a moment. I'm just trying to get the audio fixed. There it is. Huh. Channel. All right, this might be better. Let's see.
and it lets me kind of.
Isn't that better? All right, I'm just gonna use the Adobe Premiere to play it. So hold on.
Get on with my life and things that I've kind of put on hold for a while, but just like how I felt after the death of my parents, distance and time from the event gives you a little bit of calm and peace, but it also you realize it's already been a month and I can't believe they've been gone for a month already. So it kind of both sides, feeling a bit of sorrow along with feeling like personally it's given me a little more space with my neighbors and to kind of carry on with my life, but also in complete disbelief that we don't know where she is. And that is troubling to me. I understand it though, and I'm not faulting anybody, but does feel extra troubling. And I don't, I think about Nancy's daughters and son-in-law and grandchildren. How do they get on with their lives, and how do they get on with this, knowing that their grandmother and mother are still missing?
Yeah, the sheriff said, he was asked, do you think this person can strike again? And he said, absolutely. Which is not something I've heard him say before. But then he went on to say, but we believe it was targeted, but we don't really know. Are you nervous? Are people nervous?
I saw that quote today, and I saw that.
All right, guys, if you're out there and you're watching, if you have the ability to help support the channel, my channel relies on you guys. That's what allowed us to do 500 yesterday. So if you guys have the ability to help support the channel, I would appreciate it. We're currently at 1/8 of a nightly goal. Thank you.
He was just really talking with the NBC reporters. And I think it's a little bit ambiguous. I think it's targeted, but we're not sure. I'm just not quite sure what that means. But it did cause, my hair to raise up a bit when he said that. And it did give me, some time to think about what that means, and it made me a little bit uncomfortable being, a nearby neighbor. I was thinking about that today on my way home from my appointment. Like, okay, what does that mean? And does that mean there could be somebody else lurking around? Somebody that's just looking for easy targets? he said it was targeted, but targeted based on what? What's the target? Was it, I don't want to go through and give anybody ideas, but what was the target? Is it a ransom? Was it an easy, vulnerable person? Somebody living alone? Somebody elderly? What's the target? You know, what? So, and that's what kind of went through my mind today. What is the target exactly that they're talking about? It has to be one of the above. Somebody that, you know, had some wealth.
Yeah, she's the target. Nancy Guthrie was the target. You know, I mean, I think that's it. Now, what the motive behind her being the target is, I guess we don't really know.
Somebody who's vulnerable. Okay, one, somebody's vulnerable. Two, somebody who lives.
Hey, thanks, Chris O'Connell and Lizzie Robb.
Lives alone. Three, someone with an easy to access home. Four, I mean, you can go through 4 or 5 possible reasons she was targeted, including, you know, having a famous daughter of some wealth.
Yeah. All right, guys, I want to introduce you to the sponsor of today's episode, Surfshark.
Okay, I won't be playing that. He's doing those now.
Than a decade. It's a beautiful neighborhood. Do you have a sense of what may have happened? I mean, just knowing the area. I mean, do you have what does your gut tell you?
My first thought was that it was a target based on who her daughter is. I mean, that was my sense. Just from the start, I didn't really consider any other possibilities. In part because I knew I knew she lived there. I knew who her daughter.
I mean, I would look at it like this. I would look at it like she was targeted because of who she is. Well, here's the thing. There's somebody targeted, an older person's targeted and removed from the home, right? So if you look at it like that, you could say, well, then why would you do that to a random person, an elderly person, remove her from the home? You wouldn't. So what we have here is she's being removed because of who she is, not because she just happens to be an older person. She's removed from the home because she is the mother of Savannah Guthrie, and that's it. Okay? And then what the plan was behind that, that's where we don't know. I think it's like almost 100% certain that she was intentionally removed because she is Savannah Guthrie's mother. Now, was that a hit of some sort? Was it a ransom gone wrong and they weren't able to get their funds, so they just washed their hands of the situation? Is it something else? But I think that's where that's where I'm landed. I've landed right there. That's where it is. Okay, so whatever is after that, we don't know. That's the part that we don't know. I think it's almost, anything's possible, right? But I mean, if you were just going to go by pure odds, you'd have to think here that she was removed because she is the mother of Savannah Guthrie. That's why she was removed. Hey, thanks everybody. You got Jim Lawn up there, Chris O'Connell, Lizzie Robb, Jim Lawn. We don't have the audio again up there. And then Allie Cake, Miss Kyla, and then also Allie Cake. That wasn't even with challenges or anything. All right, we got to 40%. All right. Does everybody agree with that? I mean, just odds-wise. You might not agree because you have some feeling of something, but forget your feelings. Don't you think that the odds are that she was removed, and like highly likely that she was removed from the home because she's the mother of Savannah Guthrie, and that's why she was removed. And then we just don't know the reason behind why she was moved at this point, right? And the person, the reason I think this is because I've been saying this, basically since the beginning, is that the car was, they were going to park the car in the front of the home, right here. So we go down to the house, and the killer was going to park right there. That's why they needed to remove the camera. That's the only reason they moved the camera. They knew they could get out that door later, okay? Anybody can get out of a door. It's getting in that's hard if you're coming in from the outside. So you parked right there, and then I think they walked around the house, and I parked there probably at like 2:08. After they removed the camera at 1:47, they went away for a while to see if any cops would show up. Then they came back, parked the car, walked around the back, jumped over this fence, this camera right there, that little point that sticks out, filmed him jump over that fence at 2:10 and 2:12, I guess, and then he comes inside the house right here, and then at like 2:14 probably confronts Nancy in the home, and then whatever happens in there, he gets her out of the house by 2:28, 14 minutes later, put into that car, and then driven away. Doesn't that make sense? Yeah.
There was. When I would walk by, I would always, I always noticed her house and whether she was there or not, and, outside. And I always thought that was a potential.
Yeah, I've been saying that the whole time, Timur. On the second interview that Savannah Guthrie gave, she said, I feel like I'm always repeating myself. In the second interview, Savannah Guthrie, that was all the way back when I was on that golf trip, she said that we understand now, and I'm going to tell you what she was saying. She said, we understand now. We realize that our mother is dead, and we just want to know where her body is so that we can celebrate her life with her body. And we're willing, and we know that it's, we will not have peace if that doesn't happen. So we are willing to pay money for you to just tell us where we can find her so that we can have peace, which is absolutely a truth. And that's what they said on that second one. And I don't think they've changed. I think that's been something they've known since then, all the way back then, that they don't feel like, and then maybe it changed, maybe after that they thought differently or something, who knows, but I think for sure during that time frame that's what they thought. We definitely could use some challenges in here, you guys.
Yeah.
Get to the goal early.
For me, the strongest possibility that maybe it was a crime of opportunity versus looking a little deeper at, other people in Tucson. This might just be someone that you became aware of that had a famous daughter. So that was always...
Yeah, maybe that was that special they did.
The reason I think somebody targeted, but who knows? I don't know the answer to that. And I don't like to speculate, and I always also assumed it was two people because of the person who was at the front door. And he was standing there, and I don't think he was the main person. I think he was the guy outside who was waiting for them to come out.
That's sort of interesting, but I don't believe that at all.
Because
he wasn't waiting. That was at 1:47. You think he sat there for 40-something minutes just standing outside waiting? That doesn't make a lot of sense.
If you have a gate like that, a security gate on the front door, you're not getting into that. You're never going to break into that security gate. I actually talked to a security guy about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and he confirmed you're not breaking into those gates.
What do you mean you still? We've always said that.
And, she has glass on both sides of the door, and I think he was trying to see in. So when he was standing there, he wasn't trying to figure out what to do. He was trying to look in to see what was going on. And also, because you have a security gate, the door, the wooden door, if that's open, it's hard to see inside if it's dark, because I have one of those. You can't really see if the door is open or not. So I think he was standing there waiting for someone to come out. And so I've always absolutely assumed there were at least 2 people, possibly 3. You know, being someone who has had to help my elderly mother at the time, who was only 120 pounds.
That would be weird if it was some kind of a weird terrorist kind of action, you know. But it was even before we went into Iran, so I don't know. Or Iran. I'm going to say Iran, okay?
Pounds, try to get her up 3 or 4 stairs. It's hard. It's hard when someone is not wanting to be moved or is not able to move. So the thought that one person could move, you know, a 140, 150 pound woman who's maybe not wanting to move is not, for me, reasonable to think that it would just be one person.
Like one person could do that, yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, well, but see, everything that she just said is completely... She doesn't even know the facts, really. It's just,
you know, being someone who has had to help my elderly mother at the time, who was only 120 pounds, try to get her up 3 or 4 stairs. It's hard. It's hard when someone is not wanting to be moved or is not able to move. So the thought that one person could move.
No, she's just walking, you know. Hey, look at Timothy Cecil's doing a challenge. All right. Yeah, thank you. Thanks. And then it says, if you guys send in 5 gifted memberships, he'll send in 5 himself. What do you think of that? All right.
You know, a
Well, here it
140,
is. It's already
150
been
pound
met.
woman who's maybe not wanting to move is not, for me, reasonable to think that it would just be one person.
Like one person could do that, yeah.
Yeah.
See, I think it's not reasonable to say it's not reasonable that there's just one person. You have a gun. You have Nancy Guthrie who can walk. You know. I think it's funny though. I've said this before. People always say she could only walk 50 feet, man, or whatever it was. Just because somebody threw it out there as a term. Man, she could only walk like 50 feet or so before she got tired. And everybody goes, oh, see, you can only walk. They use that like it's some kind of calculation, like it's a real number. It's not. It's just a number that somebody threw out there. She could probably walk 150 feet maybe, or 200. And, you know, to go, well, she can walk 50 feet and then boom, it doesn't work anymore. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. So it's really, it's one of those things, don't even use that when you're thinking about it. She can walk around. You see her on the set of the Today Show host. Hey, thanks, Timothy Cecil and Joel Burnt. And Chris O'Connell, who did all 5 of those by herself, and then Wild Bill Wassman. So thank you guys for all the extra ones, too. We got to 50%, 55%. That's pretty good. What do you guys think of that? Don't you think it's like to say it's unreasonable to think only one person did it? Does anybody agree with that? Because I don't. I don't think it's unreasonable to believe one person. I think it's more reasonable to believe. You know why? Because you can't point to one thing that one person couldn't have done in this case. Right? You can't point to one. You see only one person on camera. All by himself. He could have removed the camera from the front of the house. Then drove his car and parked it. Then went inside the house, subdued Nancy, got her out the front door at gunpoint, holding up her arm, and she's walking, and she makes it to the car. Okay, I don't believe in the burrito theory. You know, I think that one's almost ludicrous, to be honest with you. No, that's why it might be just one person. I think what happened was they were trying to go for This is my best guess on the why, after we already know that she was abducted for being who she was. She is that it was a ransom gone wrong. She died. They still tried to get the money, and they never were able to prove she was alive, and then realized once they send in the proof, it might lead back to an arrest. Somehow they'd be tracked. And then now there's a death, a murder, which would be death penalty. So they just go, you know what? Let's just wash our hands with this one and get the hell out of here. That's what I think. I think that makes a hell of a lot of sense. Because other than that, what's the point of it? You know, if we don't believe that the first two ransom notes are real, then what's the point of this whole thing? You know what I mean? I mean, it's just like totally random. Then you'd go, okay, well, then it was a hit on her. Okay, well, who's gaining from that one? They seem to have cleared the family members and so forth.
No.
No, it's not. It's not cartel or anything.
Having lifted my parents, right?
Yeah, I think that's one reason. You talk about your parents. I think that's one reason so many people.
I mean, you know, I guess I can't say. I just don't think. I don't believe. But I guess it could be a local thing, a cartel or a gang that was trying to get her to, you know, because of who she is, to get a ransom or something. Sure. Okay.
People are so invested
I just
in
don't
the
believe
story
that.
Yeah.
because they think
But,
about
you
their
know,
own
you never know.
parents.
Right?
Yeah.
And you're always worried about your parents when they get old and people taking advantage, and you hear about all the scams today. You know what I mean? I think this resonates with people for that reason.
I think it does, and I think people. I am sure it's caused people to look at their own parents' living situation. I mean, my dad used to live right there in this. You can see in that building attached to my house, and you know, safety. We moved him there. That was one of the reasons, for his own safety. And so you think about your parents all the time, and I'm sure you don't want hindsight to be 20/20, but unfortunately, that's when you start looking at things. Like many of us have. We started examining our own homes and situations, and what else are we secure? Is there something more we can do? Can I have a brighter camera? Do I need more cameras?
So are you going to make changes?
Nobody
for yourself?
associated with the case
without disclosing.
is going to be trying to get a reward. Okay, it might be somebody that knows them if they were stupid enough, like that FBI, the coffin daffer or whatever. Or I think she said that. Like somebody will say something. I just think there's just one person here. It just makes it so much easier, you know.
But it's actually making you do things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I would too.
Yeah.
You're so close to Nancy's house. I mean.
Yeah, I mean, I think for the most part, most people, I think, are kind of reconsidering their own situations and looking for vulnerabilities. In fact, I know the sheriff's department, I think they have a corps, like a volunteer corps, that will do security inspections for your home and look for vulnerabilities. And so I became aware of that, and I've been sharing that information with people who I happen to talk to.
Has the FBI or detectives, have they come here at all?
Yeah, I think the sheriff's deputies were here twice. FBI was here probably 3 times, including last Friday. They, you know, of course, you get a knock at the front door. I'm like, And I can see, you know, I've got the big window there.
Yeah, well, they don't do the lights there because that's part of their, you know, like, I forgot what it's called, like dark skies or some kind of a term where you can't have lights that are interfering with sort of the natural look. I tell you what's amazing is you know, each house has a feel like you're kind of isolated, but you're not. I mean, look at that. Does that look isolated to anybody? It isn't. But even when you go down to the street view, you can see exactly what it's like. I mean, look, you know, I mean, hell, you have to sort of be driving by, and then you go, oh, there's a house, you know, and then you're over here, and you can just kind of see homes. But when you're at your house, you don't really see a lot of other homes either. So each little home is feels isolated, even though it isn't.
I can see who's there, and I made him flash his badge before I opened the door, which I wouldn't have done before, to be honest. And so they came. They had more dates they wanted to look at, and we sat and looked through my cameras.
Oh, specific dates?
Yeah.
Do you mind saying what dates those were?
Yeah.
I mean, I know February. January.
I don't know if you would think he would know that, but let me rewind it a little bit. Great as the sheriff realized by saying that people need to be vigilant, but not saying who is at risk will scare people. Yeah. I mean, I think I don't know if he realizes what he's saying sometimes. I think he just sort of starts talking, he's like, yeah, well, we haven't arrested anybody, so, The thing is, if it's targeted, his statement's incorrect. Like if he believes that this is targeted and they chose Nancy Guthrie for a reason, then his statement is incorrect, because that means that was it. Other people aren't in danger. I mean, there's a psycho person that would do something like that, but that's what the target was. It wasn't like now everybody else isn't a target, That was specific because they know that Nancy or Savannah's worth so much money. That's in my opinion, anyways. Yeah, you guys, let's see if we can get another challenge going. I think if we got 2 more challenges, we'd be really close to the goal.
Sheriff's deputies were here twice. FBI was here probably 3 times, including last Friday. They, of course, you get a knock at the front door. I'm like, And I can see, I've got the big window there. I can see who's there, and I made him flash his badge before I opened the door, which I wouldn't have done before, to be honest. And so they came. They had more dates they wanted to look at, and we sat and looked through my cameras.
Oh, specific dates?
Yeah.
Do you mind saying what dates those were? I mean, I know February. January 11th has been a big one with the other name. Did that one come up?
Yeah, we went back through, and I don't know if there was more to why they asked, because I've already gone through my cameras, and really there was nothing on there but wildlife. And the other date was the 24th.
The 24th of January. They were interested in. Mm-hmm. Do your cameras face all over the sides of the house, or what?
I'd rather not say exactly where they face.
Yeah,
but,
I understand.
But the one that did record a series around that date were just picking up animals.
Animals.
Yeah.
Okay, but they had specific dates they were interested in.
Yeah.
Did they seem anything else they asked you that sort of stood out?
No, I think they just wanted to. Maybe it was a different group of people. No. I'm not sure. I mean, it wasn't the same guys.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. This one. Let's see. Sarge said, by Savannah's plea, it's safe to say they did hear from kidnapper offering her body for money. See, I don't think they did that. I think, because remember they said, we understand you. That wouldn't be, you wouldn't need to say you understand them. It must have been more cryptic than that. It would have been something like, they asked for, Savannah's team asked for proof. They didn't give them proof. So then they're saying, we understand now. Right? I think if they had said out loud, hey, yeah, we can't give you proof, but we can tell you where her body is, they wouldn't need to say, we understand now. You know what I mean? What do you think? Anyways.
Who came, but they just basically asked the same questions that I'd been asked before. We spent about maybe 25 minutes together, and that was it. We went through. I think in some part they want to make sure that people understand how to look through their cameras, and they're looking, and of course I do.
Yeah.
it's just I don't really have anything to show them, unfortunately. There's nothing on there. But I think in part they wanted to make sure that people, were accurately looking through the footage.
I think it was implied.
And I think in some cases I do know of some people that just turned over their footage and said, you can, here's a.
I just think it was implied that, like they knew that they weren't alive, that Nancy wasn't alive now based on the communication, but not a specific phrase. But hey guys, let's see if we can get another challenge going in here or some support for the channel. I appreciate it. We got to keep reaching our goals through the month. We're just kind of, this month hasn't been great, but we're just trying to make things happen.
All these dates, please take a look. Mine aren't really worth doing that because there's not much on there.
Has there been anything that stood out to you since you lived here for more than a decade? Like anything strange that's ever happened? Well, I'll ask you that first.
Well, one time I had some friends who were here. I was out, they were staying here.
Like Savannah may have even written that, like they hadn't heard from him for a few days. So they just said, heck, how can we communicate again? And that's what they came up with. They just want to know where she can be found.
And they told me, hey, just let you know, there were some people that walked up to the front of your house and they were taking a bunch of pictures of your house from the front. And I was just, I didn't hire anybody to do any work. And I didn't give any permission to take pictures of the front of my house. And if you can see, you can't see the front of my house from the street.
Right.
You have to walk up my driveway. And so that was alarming. And I thought about that the other day, but this was 3 or 4 years ago. I'm just going to assume that they liked the look of my house.
You do have a very nice house.
I just want to assume that maybe they liked the way it looked, but that was a little, uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because I'd never seen that before.
Well, like you said, your house is like you really have to come up to it.
Yeah.
It's not anywhere near the road. One thing I've heard a lot from neighbors is, and even from some of my sources, is like there's a thought that one possibility is the person who did this could be close by. Just because, they haven't been able to track the cell phone from what we know from outside. You know what I mean? Like,
It's that.
Yeah, see, isn't that an interesting thing that they're talking about? I've noticed that too since the beginning, that they always seem to be right in the area, even with their Bluetooth scanner thing. Hey, what do we got here? Let's see. Chris O'Connell said, I'll match the next 5 memberships, either 5 of my own. I'm not either 5 of my own. All right. Well, I guess, is that a 5 for Fiverr? I will get you 5 for me. Okay. All right. There you go. There you go. I was like, all right. So there you go. It's another. It's just like Timothy Cecil's. If we get 4 more gifted memberships, she'll donate 5. Chris O'Connell. Thank you.
That's weird to me. I don't, and they did actually check, one more question that they did ask me last Friday is whether my internet went down that night. And I said if it did, I was asleep, and it probably came up the next day, and plus I have a new internet service from that time to 2 weeks ago. I had to change internet service. So, but I looked back on my Xfinity account to see if it cut out. But I didn't find anything.
Okay.
So, yeah, and then, yeah, I mean, that's, it's entirely
Thank you, Wild Bill Wassman. We need 4 more.
possible, but I kind of know who's in these, and they're all like me, they're all meaning, they're all kind of normal people.
Yeah.
I did, notify the, day 1 or 2 or 3, notified I got a call with, I think it was a special agent, I think it was FBI, that there was a recent turnover, and there's not that many rentals around here, but there is a rental nearby, and whoever lived there had moved out within a few days of this happening. They had moved out a few days before.
They moved out before it happened.
because the cars were gone. So I just became, see something, say something. So I thought it's probably nothing, but I'm just gonna, I'm gonna call. I'm gonna talk to them and just let them know that there was somebody living there and they're not there anymore. And so I confirmed with a couple of the neighbors, did in fact you see those cars aren't there? He said, yeah, they just moved out.
Yeah.
And these neighbors that I spoke with didn't have any footage of it because it stops at their driveway.
Well, that's the thing people don't get is the footage here, people's houses are set back.
Yeah.
It's not like footage from the front door is going to get people out on the street or,
Well, and I think in neighborhoods where it's just a regular neighborhood, houses are closer together and they're not set back behind, greenery, trees, shrubs.
Thank you, Allie Cake. Wild Bill Waspin.
It wouldn't be that out of ordinary to catch cars passing by. I know in California my house did. Every time I got in my car in the driveway, my neighbor's lights would go on from across the street. Yeah. I didn't like it, but I realized.
Yeah, out here it's not like that. These cameras are, the security cameras on these homes are not good for finding anybody other than somebody that went to your house, maybe, if you paid your bill, I guess. But like driving on the streets, forget it. I mean, these cameras, very few. Like I said before, I think what law enforcement has is a whole bunch of lights through the trees, footage from other people's cameras, where they are pretty sure they've got the right vehicle moving around. They just don't have an incredibly clear, they kind of know what style it is, but just don't have a clear picture of it. And they've tracked it around and they don't really see it kind of leaving the area is what I get from it. Like it doesn't seem like it's leaving, like a mile radius. Something like that. Hey, thanks Roger Smith and Allie Cake. We need 2 more of those.
It's probably a good thing,
Right.
that anytime there's motion in my driveway, his cameras pick up my every movement. So so this is just not the kind of neighborhood where there are those kind of people. I pretty much know in all those houses, I know who lives in all those houses around the corner. I'm not going to stay the street, but around the corner. Yeah. I know her next door neighbor. I know the people up the cul-de-sac. I know who everybody is. So it's, they're kind of all.
What's the mood among?
Any chance you guys could hit that like button for God's sakes? I mean, we've got 100. What a joke. All right, let's go ahead and hit that like button right now. Hit that like button 10, 20, 25, 30. Hit that like button 40. It's one of the easiest damn things to do in the world. Use your nose, use your toes, whatever blows. Hit that like button. It's so damn simple. It's almost hard to believe nobody hits it when they come right in. You just hit the button. Thank you very much. All right. Hey, look at that. Miss Kyla.
The neighbors. I mean, you seem pretty calm.
It varies.
Hey,
I mean, I'm always pretty calm, because the wheels just start spinning, and I want to go and find out what's going on. I'm not the person who goes and tries to pretend like it's not happening, or I want to know what's going on. And I went out and talked to neighbors. I checked on some of my older neighbors to make sure they were okay. Within days of that happening, because I hadn't seen my one neighbor walking his dog, and I kept going to his house to see if he was there. So that's, I kind of, you see there's quite a few older folks in the neighborhood, and I like to consider I'm not one of the oldest in the neighborhood. So
I think it's
felt
a
like
retirement
I have
community.
the bandwidth to go and check on a couple of neighbors, and like the
Thank you, Chris O'Connell. Thanks for doing that challenge. All right.
people right across her on the cul-de-sac, So I think people have different, there are people who don't want to talk to, they try to stay as far away from this as possible. They know what's going on, but they don't want to obviously talk to reporters, and I understand that for sure. They don't want to, but everybody's still, I talked to some neighbors a couple days ago, and everybody's still, pretty broken up about it.
Yeah, most of the
I think some people are still pretty traumatized.
I think so.
The ones who are more of her peers have known her for a long time.
And some of the neighbors.
I mean, just look how weird this case is yet. I mean, the thing is, we go, oh yeah, you know, it's it isn't common really. I mean, this is really strange. Like, if this wasn't Savannah Guthrie's mother, I think it would still be a somewhat decent sized case. It just got huge because of who she is, but at the same time, think how weird it is. You know, you got an 84-year-old woman who's got heart problems. She gets dropped off at her home, and then within, 3-4 hours, somebody shows up to the house, removes the front door camera, wearing a balaclava, looks like just creepy as hell, goes around the back, goes inside the home, and then we see expirated blood and other droplets of blood outside the front door leading to the driveway where she was put into a car and driven away. That's crazy. That's absolutely nuts.
Most of the neighbors have been like, oh, we're happy it's still on the news.
Yeah.
You guys should stick around. Like, we want them to find Nancy. There's been a few who have said, get out of here. It's time. You're vultures. It's been kind of a mix. But most people, I think, want it to stay kind of top of mind in some ways.
Yeah, I probably would put myself in that group because, and it's helpful to the Guthries. The more it stays in the news, top of mind, the more people, the tips are probably slowing down, right? And the more it stays in the news, the more people say, oh, that's right. Whatever happened with that case? So it keeps it top of mind, and I'm sure that it's helpful to law enforcement to keep it out there versus people forgetting about it. I think for me personally, I don't mind it, but then again, I don't live right next door.
Right. Yeah. I won't say where you are, but you're close.
I'm close.
Yeah.
I mean, don't you guys think the same thing? But it's a crazy story regardless of who she's related to. All right, let's see.
Backyards.
Yeah.
But I know that there was somebody poking around in my neighbor's backyard at 3 a.m. last week. And he wasn't like one of you kind of media guys. He was a new media guy, like a YouTube media
In the night, you said?
YouTube guy. 3 a.m. She happened to be out with her dogs, letting her dogs out. She's like, who are you? What are you doing? Behind my wall. Well, her property.
Oh, so this must be near
the neighbor's property comes up to her wall, and they were on the other side. So
was this an interview before? Because I thought he already interviewed that lady.
it was technically her neighbor, but she was out in her yard. It'd like be seeing somebody on the other side of my wall there. And she went and talked to him. It's like, you can't be there. You're trespassing on somebody's property.
He was a YouTuber?
And
God, I wonder which one that was.
People have guns around here.
Yeah.
Some people have guns, and some people are more than happy to,
Also in the middle of the night like that.
3 a.m. And he came up and talked to her, but that's still not okay. I mean,
that's really scary.
Yeah. So I think
what's he doing? At 3 a.m?
people see all this open space, and I think I'm going to find her. I'm going to claim that money, and I want to be the one to find her. And so I'm going to step over there because there's no houses and there's all this open land, but it's actually somebody's property. You can see back here. There's 2-3 acres back here, and it belongs to someone, right? So that's the sort of thing people don't like.
Yeah, that's
they don't like people to step over the line.
Yeah.
And for the most part, media, people like yourself, understand. You have to. To get information, you have to be able to be assertive. You have to be able to go up to people, and you have to, and that's for the most part, people understand that, and they'll say yes or no, I don't want to talk, or I do want to talk. But it's these other people that aren't media trained. They don't know what the rules are, the laws are.
They don't care what they
are. I think for some people has been a nuisance.
Have you had any frustrations with law enforcement? I mean, we've heard so much about the sheriff since we got here.
No, my first thought was, hearing him talk, it was a little cringeworthy, because I thought, oh man, that was not probably the best thing to say. But I can't say that he's not doing his job, because I don't know what's happening behind the scenes. Maybe he's not as well media trained. I don't know. But so I can't criticize what he's doing, because I don't know what's happening. And that's okay. We should not know everything that's happening. It's really, if it in any way impacts the investigation, if it negatively, impacts the investigation, or it's giving too much information, just because people want to know doesn't mean they should. So I'm not gonna, I don't know which way. I don't know if he's doing a good job or bad job. I just know that it's not necessarily my business, and if I don't like it, then there's the next election,
Right.
But I think it's just he caught off guard with the media, and I understand that there were some things going on there too with his personal life. So.
Anything else that you think is important?
No, other than that, I hope
been reported or that people should know.
No, I just hope that people keep thinking about this case. I hope that people will continue to keep especially people in southern Arizona, keep their eyes open. I can tell you, every time I go out in public, I am looking. It's like I've got Google glasses on, and I'm putting my little AI on faces to see because I feel like I know what this person looks like. As soon as we saw the image, I said, this is how tall he is, this is how much he weighs, he's got bow legs, he's got lady hips. I know exactly what I was like, okay, I know who this person, I don't know him, but I know what this person looks like. And I think a lot of people kind of figured out.
It's Kohlberger, what the hell's he doing?
Woman, I don't think so. And so, keep your eyes open, and probably nothing that the sheriff hasn't already said to people, but I personally am always, kind of scanning when I go out, to be honest. At some point it will probably stop, and I'll start forgetting, but for now.
Probably smart to do that, yeah.
Yeah, and, you can, anybody walking up my driveway is gonna, I'll probably put up signs, no trespassing signs.
Yeah.
Myself, so that I don't have to get into a situation where, it's a terrible thing, because at one point in our, history over the 30 years, it'd be fine for somebody to come to your front door. And they still do here, believe it or not. I have people coming and trying to sell me things to my front door.
Well, I was kind of nervous coming to your front door, just because it's a walk up, and I'm like, gosh, I feel like people are on edge here. So for a guy to walk up, I'm just like,
Oh, I knew who you were, though. But no, it's, my dogs always tell me when somebody's coming up the driveway.
Yeah.
So I
you
knew.
have big dogs, too, so.
Yeah, and I knew, I recognized you. But, you can see in my house, and I can see who's coming up the driveway from over that corner and that corner. So I'm not overly worried, but I am probably a little bit more aware, because the person coming to your house, it says they're trying to sell you their truckload of asphalt, or they see that I could use a yard service, or I could use a new roof. Maybe that's not really what they're selling.
Yeah.
Maybe they just want to come up to the door and see who's here.
Just my last thing, a lot of people have brought up like contractors. I guess that's a thing here. There's just kind of, I hate to say shady contractors, but some people have told me that. Like, there's people coming around, let me clean your windows, let me look at your roof,
Well, there's a lot. You can see, you probably heard some of it going on. Just right near her house, there was a new roof. Somebody got a new roof the last 2 days. In the cul-de-sac over there. He moved. He moved to San Diego. He was planning on it already. So there were people there, and I was watching, because I could see from my back of my house who was up there. Over there is construction. There's always construction. Somebody's doing something to their house. They're doing an addition or doing a new roof or something, remodeling. And so there's people around. And so I had said that previously to someone, that at any given point there are a lot of vehicles around. Most of the time you see who...
All right, guys, we're on one of those massive lulls again. I think we need like 1.5 more challenges, the same ones that we've done, and we'll get to the goal. See if we can do that. All right.
Most of the times you see what the name of the construction company is. But there are a lot of them, and I can tell when I was standing on her street talking to a neighbor a couple weeks ago about something else. I could tell there were cars driving by, and I was just talking to her. I said, look, they don't live here, they don't live here, they don't live. I can tell who lives here because you see them around, and they have Arizona plates usually when they live here. You know, they don't have plates from a rental car, rental company. So when trucks come around, to be honest, now I'm probably gonna, if there's unmarked vehicles, trucks, vans, trucks, service vehicles, I'm gonna be looking a little bit harder, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I hate that I have to do that, but I just, for now, feel compelled to be looking over our shoulders a little bit more, especially since
I don't know. I think people are overanalyzing. I don't see woman hips or anything like that. It's a freaking a doorbell camera.
It's targeted, we think, and everybody should be on alert, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you very much for talking to me.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
it. Thank you. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, that's cool. Good job, Brian Entin. He's the only, I guess he's been there the whole time. He's the only actual, you could say reporter that's there. The people just sitting there with a camera pointed at the house 24/7 aren't reporting. They're just hoping for a pot of gold when a car drives by and they can go, oh, look at that. Yeah. Now let's see. So quiet. Need to have that playing a little bit. Oh, thank God. He'll probably get back there. Yeah, where do you get woman hips out of this? Just looks like a dude. I mean, you know what I mean? Now, I know that people think his eyes kind of look like female, but... That's kind of an interesting pattern there. From a different angle, kind of. Yep. Yeah, I don't see the lady hips of people. I think people just want to see something that they can pretend is helping identify somebody. The truth is, we don't have any idea who this person is. Just looking at it. Now, there's people out there that claim that he's somebody and then do overlays with faces and whatnot. But just looking at this, that's why this guy felt so comfortable standing at this front door, because he's got everything he's wearing is likely something he never wears. Okay, he probably went and bought this stuff just for this, and everything he's got on, even the holster, etc., and the gloves, maybe the only thing, like the shoes and the pants or something, I don't know. But by the way, see, there's this little part missing from here to there. That's just such a little amount. That's less than a half second. But if you notice his right foot, it's planted in the exact spot. So that's the same moment, just right after that. So when he's got his head down, he then, goes like that. It's not, this is all the same moment in time. We're missing like a half second. See? Like if you like the way they put it, the clips out there, you wouldn't know that. But if you look at his right foot, I mean, the odds that it's another time and he stepped exactly on the same grout line with his foot, it's like 1 in a million. All right, you guys, if you're out there, if you could please help support the channel, try to get to our numbers. We're currently at about let's see, I don't know, like 70%, maybe 68 or something percentage. We need like 1.5 challenges that we've done. It would be exactly what we get right to the numbers. Yeah, so anyway, somebody sent me this and they said that this is what Annie Guthrie put out, like this route for people to look for camera footage on or something. And so while that was playing a minute ago, I drew it. And Annie lives over here, and I'm not really sure why you'd have something over in this area. Maybe the suspect vehicle drove near Annie's home, and that's why they maybe thought they had something to do with it earlier. But I'm not really sure why you have it clear over to here, why you want camera footage. You know, I have no proof that this is what she was doing. None of my jokes are landing tonight. Okay, Jim Lawn has a challenge. You need to, if you send in a super chat with a joke, he'll send in 20 if he laughs. Okay, that's your mini challenge, whatever you call it. So you send in a super chat with a joke, but Jim Lawn has to laugh. Yeah, yesterday's one was pretty funny. It was what was it? A skeleton goes into a bar and he asks for a beer and a mop. That was funny as hell, man. You know. Except I have to get this in there. Yeah. I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts on all this? It seems like, I mean, I drew this little red square a long time ago. And I was kind of wondering if, something was inside of that. A long time ago. That's been there since almost the beginning. But the helicopters were flying around in this area looking for the signature from the Bluetooth. The Bluetooth. Man, you guys are dead as a doornail again. Just nobody's commenting. I'm just going to sit here and stare at the screen. Wait for people to comment. Yeah. Hey, look at that. Hey, Kumari, how's it going? Yeah, I don't know. It looks frozen to me. It just doesn't move. I guess we because we don't do conspiracy theories, nobody has anything to say. That's a good point about the foot being planted. Yeah. Right. Well, that's why I put the whole video together the way I did, because I knew that I figured it out that was just the same moment in time, literally like a half second different. Like if you watch it, it's like, oh, and you don't know if that's from a whole different time. Your mind might think, oh, that's just another, wow, that might be 5 minutes later, but it isn't. It's literally from here to there. I mean, just in that little bit of time, he bent his right arm, his left arm's coming forward. If Jim Lawn Matt laughs, then Chris O'Connell will also send in 20. All right, guys. Well, who's sending in the joke, though? Yeah, we're all stumped. I think that's one of the creepiest pictures I've ever seen. I don't know, man. I don't think anybody's sending in a joke. Do they have to send in a super chat joke, or can it just be somebody types in a joke? What the shrubbery wear? She thinks everything's significant. Like, she's got to find a different angle every single day. You mean the shrubbery that he used to try to remove the, or, you know, put up there? Okay, anybody type in a joke. Any joke. All right? It doesn't have to be a super chat. Got to be funny, though. Man, what in the hell's wrong with you guys? It's just so dead. I mean, it's just... Yeah, well, their people aren't doing it, so... Okay, Sherry C said, what did the triangle say to the circle? I don't know. Okay, well then we got some other options in here. All right. So Sherry C said, what did the triangle say to the circle? You're pointless. You're pointless. That's pretty good. Come on. And then Random Bogey said, 3 guys are out drinking. 2 guys walk into a bar. The 3rd guy ducks. All right. All right. Yeah, don't you get it? Like it's an actual bar, a metal bar. You know, they walked into it and the other guy ducked. Right. Did you get a chuckle out of some of those, Jim? Come on. Okay, I guess he's saying we need 2 more jokes. They lost track of the vehicle lights. I would assume they might have been able to... Yeah, that's what I think, but they don't know for certain if it left the area. Don't you guys have that feeling too? Okay, L. Driver said, Confucius say, man who stand on toilet, high on pot. Okay. And then, let's see. Ari Parlin said, why do you never play poker at the zoo? I don't know. Eric Parlin. Why don't you ever play poker at the zoo? Maybe I need it on live chat. Maybe I'm missing the answers. Well, what is it? Too many cheetahs. You didn't spell it right, but yeah, there you go. Why do you never play poker at the zoo? Too many cheetahs. All right, that one's not too bad. I used to be addicted to the hokey pokey, but then I turned myself around. By Kumari Azad. All right. Well, you got a whole bunch of jokes in there. Two peanuts were walking down the street. One was assaulted. It's a true crime joke. All right. What was it? Oh, shit. What do you call a snake that ate Viagra? A stick? It's got to be something like that. What do you call it? What do you call it? A cane. Ah, it was close, though, huh? It's a cane. What do you call a snake that ate Viagra? A cane. Why did the Scarecrow win an award? Wait, where is it? Why did the Scarecrow win an award? He was outstanding in his field. All right, you guys. Didn't that work? Are those enough there, Jim Long and Chris O'Connell? You got like 40 jokes in there. Yeah. He was outstanding in his field. Hey, look at that. Chris O'Connell gifted 5 memberships. All right. By the way, and this image right here, you guys, see how it's really... People always go, you can't even see his eye holes. Of course you can't see him. This is like night vision. It's a thumbnail, incredibly poor quality, and it just does that. It sort of blurs things together. All right, let's see what Jim said. Tony, my trigger bunny, and my iguana walked into a bar. The bartender said, "Get out." Okay, wow, that was... All right, well, that makes sense. Why would you want a trigger bunny and an iguana? Yeah. And also, by the way, look at this picture right there. You can barely see the eye holes in them. See that? Or are we going to say, oh, he changes the balaclava before he got there? Look at that. There's the mouth open. You can barely see it. It's just the way it is, man, with video. Just the way it is. See, I think the part from here to there is what was written over in the time that it took to get this video. Thanks, Jim Long. All right. Yep, it's not gone too bad. Oh yeah, I got some footage. Oh wait, I recorded it. You know, the 2 girls that were murdered by their mother. In Cleveland. I have the body camera footage of them arresting her. And by arresting her, I mean, I think her name is, what the hell was it? Like, Aaliyah Henderson. You guys want to see that? Pretty interesting. All right, you guys, we're still about another challenge short here. One last one. Hey, let's check it out. Let's check it out. This is the lady that killed her 2 daughters because she just didn't like him because she got a new boyfriend, you know. And that's more important. Let me get to the... There it is. I guess we can take a look at this. So remember, so this guy right here that lives in this house, he was out walking his dog along the park's edge over here, and he stumbled upon a suitcase that his dog alerted on, and then he looked inside and saw a head. So then he called 911, and we've seen those videos. He shows up, the officer shows up here, then he drives his car right down here, parks it, and then walks over to here. And then after, 7 or 8 minutes or so, they unzipped it and saw a child in there in fetal position, sort of curled up in there. Chris O'Connell said, Jim Lawn has a great sense of humor. All right. Thank you. And then after they looked into there, they found another suitcase right here. And you can actually see it. Maybe if we do this in order, because there's a lot of people that haven't seen any of this stuff because all they ever watched was the, just Nancy Guthrie every second of every day. But we covered different things during this time. So here's this footage right here. Before we get to that, this is the officer who shows up.
I see the little black.
He's talking. See right there. He's talking to this guy. He's the guy that walked the dog. And if we look at the map right here, he's standing. Let's see, right here, I think. See that baseball background right there? That's right there. See that? What the hell happened? There it is. All right, so he's standing about right there because he lives right here. And then...
today I was just like, let me see what the fuck that really is.
Okay.
So it's back there. I pulled it up so it's kind of standing up and a fucking station.
Yeah, so it was buried under the ground. He said he smells decomposition, everything.
Like hell.
Okay.
All right, so then he drives down that little side road that I just showed you. Okay. So right now he's go up in the air. He just drove down that street right there. And he is right in here. I don't know if they... Yeah, there's no street view in here. But he drives down and then he parks right in this area. And he gets out. Now, interestingly, can you guys see that little spot right there? We'll do the full screen on this. Oops. Right there. So see it right over here? That's another body. He just doesn't know it yet. That area right there. See that? It's crazy, but that's actually another suitcase with another body in it. And then right over there, that darkness back there, that's the one that his dog got.
God. In there, please. I got you.
See that there's I think there were the kids who were 8 and 10. Probably really malnourished. This lady probably didn't feed him a damn thing. Reminded me of the Hart family murders. Yeah, so I think he... So there it is. The suitcase is out of the ground. He hasn't looked in it yet. I'm just going to move it forward because he just walks around. I'm not sure where that red-orange line's on there. There you go. You can see it. Good night, Spaghetti Man. Yeah, so right there is the other body again. So he's waiting for another officer to show up. Looks like he's heading back in that direction. I mean, the suitcase is right there on the right. The one that the dog walker saw. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to. Would you? Let me ask you this: put a 1 if you'd want to look in that suitcase all by yourself without other officers. I mean, you can forget it, that guy. I would, Gray. I really would. That's part of my job. Hey, thanks, Wild Bill Wassman. And that's not, they didn't blur that. That was just the camera blurring. Well, maybe, because that should have shown. I'm not sure why they blurred that. It was probably an accident. That should have still been sharp there. So, yeah. There was no reason to blur that. There was no... Ah, keep going over there. That's crazy. Look at that. Right there. That's the other suitcase. They don't know it yet. Right underneath that tan area.
2233.
Isn't that weird?
Can you repeat that?
And then they
Partially
make it
buried.
back over there. And
I just want to see. Can you flash your light on? I just want to see if there's any blood or anything on it. No?
no, they haven't opened them yet. Right here he does though.
You on?
They can all smell the decomp. And he opens it up.
You could bring it closer. I can't see.
Look like a foot.
Yeah, no.
He said it looks like a foot.
Oh yeah, it is. It look like a kid.
Yeah. I can't. It's attached. It's just like full in the fetal position. No, frozen.
So he said the head was attached. It was just in fetal position. All right. So then the investigation led to a woman who lives in this house, Aaliyah Henderson. And I think that's where they're breaking in, unless she went somewhere else. But this is where she lives. That's what her address was. Look how stupid. I mean, from here to right there. Thank God for idiots. Let's see. Let me just look at that little fence there. I'm going to go down to street view just to kind of get an idea of where they're breaking in, if this is even the place. Oh, they were just building it at the time. Yeah, that's not even done. Can we still make it out, though? Yeah, we don't know. They probably put a fence somewhere along there. It's hard to say. How about the siding? Does that work? Yeah, I don't know. Oh, okay, that's the front of the house, I think. Does that make sense? That this door here, see that little power outlet in the door? I think that is right here and there. And then there should be a window to the right that would be like 4, and then they probably built a fence, like a, yeah, I mean a fence right along here, whatever you call that. This stuff. Yeah, there's a window right there. Let's look at the door. See, the door has that crap on there. And the door looks right, doesn't it? With the windows right up like that. 2 layers, looks like about 6 windows. That looks good. Yeah, I know. I know.
Watch it.
You're always repeating everything that I say on the show.
Come on down, hands up.
All right, let's see.
Come on down, hands up. Come down now, hands up. Got ready for it? Yeah.
Okay, there she is. She probably already.
Got her?
Put the car down. Got it.
Anybody else here?
Right. Go ahead. You good? Okay. I got you covered.
That was probably that one kid you could hear is the one where it was a copy. I mean, not a copy. The one kid that was the one that she had remaining, maybe with some newer guy, you know.
Just hold on 1 second. I'm gonna wait for the car to pull in so you don't have to. 1 second. Yeah. Yeah, you're.
I don't know.
Come on
Oh, that does look like a stripper pole. I think you're right. Didn't even notice it.
down, hands up. Come down now, hands up.
Probably what she does.
Got ready for it? Yeah. Anybody else inside? Got her?
Put the car down. Got it.
Anybody else here?
I think that's probably a wig. Her hair doesn't seem to look like.
Right. Go ahead. You good? Okay. I got you covered. Just hold on 1 second. I'm gonna wait for the car to pull in so you don't have to. 1 second. Yeah. Yeah, you're good. I got you.
It looks his color? Where's it? This color? Is it upstairs?
He put gloves on and he opened it up. Yeah.
Open that door.
Where's your bear at?
Sorry. Watch your stuff. Sleep. Okay. You good?
Yeah, I'm just gonna turn to the side.
Yeah.
I think that's it. It's a really short video, but that was at 4 o'clock on the 4th. Yeah, and I hope she never sees the light of day again. I mean, what a monster. You know, probably starved those kids. All right, who's going to do the last challenge of the day, you guys? Then we'll be at a goal. If you get to do another challenge, I'll donate 5 memberships myself. All right, let's see if we can do it. Just one more, we can do it. How was she in? How was she in that house? I don't know. Probably a stripper. Made money. But the 2 kids were just. And it's a rental too. It looks like it's a condominium. There's 2 other. I think there's another portion of it. I think. You know, maybe there's other people that live on this side and over here. Or maybe a duplex. Hey, it's Shinobi Business. All right. Well, I guess if we get another 5, then I'll donate 5 myself. That'll be my challenge, because that would have been the other half of that one. Thank you, Shinobi Business. I always want to think like it means like it's none of your business or something. All right, you guys want to do a? I mean, I don't know. What do you want to talk about right now? I do have a one of the cold cases we could go over that I have, or we could also load up the. I've been having fun doing those, to be honest with you. Like opening up the faces of, well, the place that we donated money to yesterday. You know, it's Faces of Unsolved Homicides, Project Cold Case. And it's just so interesting to find these random ones that you look at, and some of them are really detailed, crazy stuff. So I'm not sure if you guys are interested in that, but all right. Well, I got one that I already loaded up. It's this one right here. Christine Shook, unsolved homicide victim, December 19th, 1989, Cleveland, Ohio, the same damn town as this. Same town and everything. All right. So that's her, Christine Shook. All right. And just want to make sure I'm going in order. Yeah. No, that wasn't the right order. There we go. December 19th. Okay. So I think I've got a newspaper reference and... Oh, yeah. This is crazy right here. Or I'll get to that later. All right, so she went missing, and then the first newspaper articles are right here. Like, she wasn't in the papers when missing. So it says, women's body found. Cleveland police yesterday began investigating what appeared to be the city's first homicide of 1990. But she actually disappeared on December 19th, 1989. The body of an unidentified woman was discovered yesterday morning by children collecting cans in a West Side field, police said. Cleveland homicide detectives Don Ferris and Leo Allen said children spotted the body at 11:15 a.m. by railroad tracks about 200 feet north of Train Avenue at Interstate 90. All right, so we have that. We have it in here. Let me just get to the right. There it is, right there. So it's in the same town, but just right over here. And apparently it's underneath, near this bridge. So it said 200 yards, what'd they say, north of Titan Avenue? Let me read that again. About 200 feet north of Train Avenue and Interstate 90. So I guess, you know, we could actually go back to, I think, 1994. There we go. So that one's really close to the time frame. And then they say 200 yards. So here's Titan. There's where they kind of meet. So let's say, what's that? Did they say 200 yards or feet? Now I can't remember. Ah, shit. What happened to what I was just looking at? Oh, that's right here. 200 feet. All right. So it's really like just right in here. Just like they were saying. So somewhere just in underneath that bridge. So what it looks like is down here. And so she was found in a field, you know, maybe, you know, right over here or just right in there, somewhere underneath here. Yeah, we need 4 more gifted memberships, then I'll donate 5 myself. Let's see. Ferris said the woman was clad only in a black jacket and white socks. She appeared to have had her head beaten, Ferris said. There were also scratches on her head indicating she had been dragged before her body was dumped. There's a really interesting piece of information in this case, though, and I found it also. The victim was described as white in her early 20s, 5'3", 140 pounds, with dark hair. Cuyahoga County Coroner Elizabeth K. Balraj said that the body would be examined this morning, but that a preliminary report indicated her death was violent. I know it's hard to get people to support the channel when we're doing something other than the big cases, but I would really appreciate it. Thanks. Death ruled a homicide. The Cuyahoga County Coroner's Office has ruled that the death of a woman whose body was found Thursday was a homicide. The body was found by children collecting cans near Train Avenue. The woman was identified as Christine Shook, 23, of Wales Avenue. Let's see where that is. I just want to see generally. I wonder if she's in, since it was 89. Let's just see if she made it into been verified. How many people are going to have the last name of Shook? Christine Shook, Cleveland, Ohio. How old would she be now? She's 23. How many? Let's see. So 89. That would be like 37, like 60 maybe. I think this might be it. Maybe about 60 years old, I would think. 89. She's 23, so born in 66. Yeah. Oh, I think, is that it? Address history, Cleveland. Oh, I think this is it. Did they say Wales? Is that right? Yeah. Isn't that amazing? God, right there, December 1989. That's the last known address there. So here we go. Really close to where we just had the pin, but right there, that's where she lived. Man, it's amazing that it actually was been verified. Hey, thanks, Sherry C. Alright, so that's where she lived, and then she was found almost exactly dead north of her house. About 5.5 miles away. Yeah, let me go get that again. Christine Shook. She was 60. There it is. I just forgot to save it, so I had to go out and get it again. Alright, let me just see if she had any court records from way back then. I doubt it, but... well, I had one. She did have a drug abuse. That was it. And then, well, then there was also trafficking in drugs. So that is something that's in there. So that might be why she's, put herself in a predicament. Which, doesn't really matter. There's still a psycho out there that bashed your head in, Like sex workers. Hey, thanks, Karen W. Wow, all right. There you go. And here we go. Here is 5 more. Yeah, so it was unclear how long the woman's body had been at the site, she said. Shook's body was discovered at 11:15 a.m. Thursday by children near the railroad tracks about 200 feet north of Train Avenue and Interstate 90. She was wearing only a black jacket and white socks. So she was probably sexually assaulted, I would think. It may be, I don't know if she was a sex worker or what was going on there. And this says, help is sought to track down woman's killer. This is 1990, January 14th. Crime Stoppers is seeking the public's help to find the killer of Christine Shook, whose body was discovered January 4th by children. Hey, wow, thanks so much. There's Saturn dreaming of Mercury. I was dreaming of Mars myself. Hey, by the way, aren't you guys pumped to go back to the moon, for God? I don't know why we're not on the moon, for God's sakes. Why isn't the moon where we have a base instead of a space station? It seems so ludicrous to me. Why wouldn't you just have it on the moon? It's crazy. But I'm excited to go back to the moon. And let me ask you guys this. Would you pay $5 a month for a channel on cable where, let's say, Elon Musk flew up a drone and it was like a little buggy that drove around the moon and then sent back a signal? And we just watch it. I would watch that sucker like every single day, just going, woo, look at that. Ooh, yeah, wow. I mean, it would be incredible. I don't know why somebody hasn't done that. It just seems so simple. It always makes you think that there's some other reason why they don't do this. I mean, just fly the freaking rocket up there. If you can land on Earth a rocket back onto the damn thing it took off from, then you certainly can land something on the moon. Okay? Yeah, well, if you listen to Richard C. Hoagland, he would say that there's an alien base on the back side, and that's why we haven't been back yet. But I think it'd just be the coolest damn thing in the world, especially Mars if they did that. But the moon is right there, man. You could get a satellite up there and just send a nice signal back. And every day you say, okay, everybody, we're going to Tranquility Bay. We're going to drive by our old flags and everything. Of course, Candace Owens types won't even believe that's real. But, yeah. Anyways, let's get back to this. Crime Stoppers is seeking the public's help to find the killer of Christine Shook, whose body was discovered January 4th by children collecting cans along railroad tracks near Train Avenue. And thanks again up there, Saturn dreaming of Mercury. I had to throw in the Mars part just because I wanted to talk about it. Let's see. Shook 23 of Wales Avenue, Parma Heights, died from multiple blows of the head, chest, and abdomen and extremities, according to the Cuyahoga County Coroner's Office. She was found wearing only a black jacket and white socks. Cleveland homicide detective Leo Allen said she had been dead for more than a week. Yeah, it's probably because it was so cold outside. It preserved her, because she was found, like around the I guess she was found on the 5th, but she disappeared on the 19th of December. So that's 2 weeks. Cleveland homicide detective Leo Allen said she had been dead for more than a week. Shook worked as a go-go dancer at a bar on Clark Avenue. And let's see where that is. So, go-go dancer. You've got the drugs. You know, maybe somebody saw it. Maybe she wasn't a sex worker, but that sort of is in that realm. You know what I mean? And West 25th. Okay, so this is going to be close to where she was found. Wow. Oh, Jesus, look at that. Man, that's wild. She was a go-go dancer just right here somewhere. Don't know the name of it, but worked here. So that's probably what happened. Either somebody saw her while she was dancing, or she would do other stuff on the side while being a go-go dancer. And then look at that. Look how close that is to where she was found. So we could just, you know, to drive there is 0.79 miles. Nothing. It's like somebody got her when she got in her car and then took her over there. Or she was, you know, I mean, I don't know. I'm just throwing out the possibilities here. What do you guys think about that? All right, then January 15th, dancer's death investigated. Cleveland police are seeking information on the beating death of Christine Shook, 23, whose partially clothed body was found January 4th along the railroad tracks at Vega and, Vega and Track Avenue. Let's see where that is. Vega and Track. Oh, right there. Yeah, just sort of in that area, I guess. And it's in Cleveland. Shook, a former go-go dancer at a West Side bar, died of multiple injuries in the head and chest. When you say former go-go, I mean because she's dead, or persons with information can call Crime Stoppers. Tips that led to the arrest and conviction of the individual. All right, so yeah, that, and then, so here's something. This is crazy right here. Watch this. See this? This is on a death notices page. See all these death notices, death notices? And I think you have to pay to put those in there. And then right here, this right here is Christine Shook, died, looks like it says 12 question mark. They don't know the date, whoever typed this in. And maybe well, that's also interesting that they put 12, isn't it? Merry Christmas, honey. I love you and miss you. Love, Bill. Nobody in the family or anybody knows who this is. Nobody knows a Bill. Nobody knows that she knows a Bill. You know, I mean, man, this could be, you know, not to say, but this could be like one of those serial killer nut jobs types. Nobody knows a Bill. And this person said 12 question mark 89, but her body wasn't found until January 5th. So how in the hell would you even know it was, you know, it did say her body was there for maybe a week. But, I mean, you know, that's a little dicey that you said that. Yeah, that's a little element there that would make, you would think that would make this a bigger story for people. You know, by the way, you know, who paid for that ad, and like, did you track that down, etc.? It's crazy. I mean, look at that. And it says 12 question mark 89. Why even put that in there? You know, why not just put the date that she was found or whatever, but you put that in there because you don't want to let people know that you know the date. Merry Christmas, honey. I love and miss you. Love, Bill. Yeah, and then from this one video that's out there, we'll probably watch it here in a minute. It said, while collecting aluminum cans on Cornrail property between, let's see, it says, I guess it says Frias Avenue. What's that? What's Frias? Oh, okay. So it is right in between here and there. Somewhere just right in there. I wonder if this wasn't there. If we go back to 19. Yeah, that was just like a field. So I bet it was, you know, I'm going to guess like over here or something. Avenue and Train Avenue. He located the body of a female. Reporting person states he went and notified his father, who flagged down traffic car 7220 containing Officer Jackson, number 1179, and led him to the area of where the body was located. Zone Car 212 responded to assist in the area of Train Avenue, approximately 50 yards north of Train. Members observed a white female, apparently expired, with multiple bruises and abrasions. This female is between 5'6", or approximately 5'6", 125 pounds, with long brown wavy hair, dressed only in a black waist-length jacket and white socks. So that means she's nude, but has a black jacket on and socks. The female was observed to have a gold initial ring on her left hand, ring finger. This female was found lying on her right side, approximately 20 feet north of pole 697808. What does that mean? You guys actually have names of poles? What the hell is that? I wonder if they call these, or no, it might be a telephone pole. Oh, wow, you can actually go in here. Jesus. So maybe it's, you know, they said it in a field, so maybe right over there. Do these have numbers on them? You think you can find that information? Let's see. Telephone pole numbers in Cleveland, Ohio. Wow, does have utility pole identification and numbering. Let me type in look up Cleveland utility pole numbers. It does say I don't know. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that, but that would be cool if you could figure out the exact pole number, right? I mean, there's got to be a number on it somewhere. I bet it's that one, though. Yeah, I think they have a little, like it's a plate, right? some kind of number, or do they? I don't know. It's a little metal thing, or is it like? Do they burn it on there? Seems like I've seen numbers on them. It'd be cool if you could look that up, though, for sure. Body was observed to be at the bottom of the hill between the rapid tracks and the train tracks. The rapid tracks. Bottom of the hill. Okay, let me just go in there one more time. Oops. You guys interested in this at all, or? Okay, the train tracks. Okay, those are the train tracks, but they're probably old now. And maybe there's a different type of a line. Like there's the train tracks over there. So maybe these tracks are like a local transport trolley kind of deal. So from there, if we go forward, so in here, probably. I don't think it's way over there, like that. I think it's like here, something like that. Alright. So there's that one. And I think there was a continuation, another little piece that I screen grabbed. This, I don't know, what's it? This title changed from dead body, homicide to homicide, conferred with Dr. Challenger of the coroner's office, who stated he performed the autopsy on the victim and reports multiple injuries to the head, chest, and body caused by impacts. He also reports exposure to the weather, and collectively with the injuries was the cause of her death. So she might have been like just brutally attacked and knocked out and then died of hypothermia. Dr. Challenger also reports the liquids in the victim's body were frozen, which would indicate the victim was dead for possibly a week or more in sub-freezing weather to cause this condition, depending on the weather conditions in the past. Further testing to be conducted on the victim. Yeah, so she was really cold out there. And there's an article, this is from 2025, believe it or not. Like there was nothing else out there, but a young woman was found dead near railroad tracks on the west side of Cleveland back in 1990. Who killed Christine Shook and why? Her case hasn't received much attention until now. Christine's family wants answers and accountability. She was only 23 years old. She was a good person. She didn't get to live, said Terry Thomas. 1 week before Thomas gave birth to her second son, she learned her sister had been murdered. Trying to bring a baby into the world when you just lost your baby sister. She never got to meet him, she said. On January 4th, 1990, a child out collecting cans on the west side of the city found Christine's body lying near railroad tracks on Train Avenue and I-90 in Cleveland. She was wearing only a jacket and socks, a black jacket. She had several injuries to her head, chest, and body caused by blows, according to the coroner. I just want to know who did it. I want to know why. She didn't deserve this, Thomas said. Christine was the youngest of 5 children. She grew up near West 25th Street and Clark Avenue, playing softball and going roller skating every night. And it says, at the time she was murdered, Christine worked as a go-go dancer at a bar on Clark Avenue and West 25th Street, not far from where she was found. She was a good kid. Everybody has their bad side, but she had a heart, Thomas said. After Christine's death, Thomas had a mysterious man. Thomas said a mysterious man started visiting her grave and leaving flowers. Was that Bill? I wonder if that's Bill. Then a year later, a man named Bill, there you go, left a message under death notice in the paper. It reads, "Merry Christmas, honey. I love you. I love and miss you." Thomas said their family does not know who Bill was. "I just want closure. I want to live without looking over my shoulder, thinking that does this person have a vendetta against us for searching them out?" As she searches for the truth, something else continues to haunt her. "I still think about the little boy that found her. I would love to meet the kid one day." You know, the little kid that found her. So that's her right there. Christine's family is still seeking justice. "Can you help police solve the case? Investigators told us any information, even if it seems small, can help. The Cleveland Police Homicide Unit said there are no updates to provide on Christine's case. And man, what a massive lull we've had." They told us it's still open and under investigation. There's a cash reward of $5,000. I wonder if I should make just a video with on this one. That little one detail is enough for people to, I think it would be interesting. On January 4th, 1990, the body of Christine Shook, picture 20, was found near some railroad tracks on Train Avenue in Cleveland. Ms. Shook was the victim of a homicide. If you know anything about the case, please contact Crime Stoppers. The cash reward is available for any information that leads to the arrest and indictment of the offenders. All right, so why don't we, see if we can get some more channel memberships gifted and whatnot, and maybe we'll look for another random case in here. Not that one was, there's not a lot of details in it, but it's interesting. Nevertheless, I mean, if you work so close to there, and then she ends up being beaten to death, basically. And, well, they said north of the road. I actually think it's right there, north of here. So right in there. And then there's this guy named Bill who sent her a message a year later to the day. Well, I'll tell you what's interesting. Now that I think about it, let me open that up again. Hold on a second. This is the more interesting part of it. Look at the date up here, 12/19/1990. They put in here, Christine Shook died, I don't know what day it was, but the date of her death is 12/19/1989. So this person knew to post it on the exact date that she went missing and was killed. Okay? The year later. You don't think that's a little interesting? They pretend they don't know the date in here, but the date that the newspaper that got it was the exact date. All right? That's interesting. See, look. 12/19/1989, Cleveland, Ohio. 12/19/1990, the next year, and he goes, Christine Shook, 12-something, I don't know. But his subconscious knew that it was 12/19, and he posted it that day. I don't know. That's just too coincidental to me. All right, everybody start sending in super chats and channel memberships, super chats and channel memberships, super chats and channel memberships. Just kidding. Hit the like button, you guys. We only got 166 likes. Not surprising, though. Not surprising. As soon as you shift topics there, oh boy, you're not talking about Nancy Guthrie? Forget it. I'm out of here. You know that one was just totally random too. I just clicked on it. And there's Wild Bill Wassman again. Thanks, Wild Bill. Gotta let these load in here. It wasn't this Bill. It wasn't Wild Bill. Yeah, well, I like the case yesterday. You know, the one where the lady was in a 7-Eleven and killed, or she was removed and killed. That means the person lives there and knows that they would identify her. Did we do that one? Kelicoma? Sort of. How do you spell that? E. I don't know. Let me see if she even shows up. Stacy Kelicoma. I'm just going to put quotes around it. There should only be one that's ever been in the paper. $1989. Yeah. Yeah, that makes it tough if there's really no references in there. Wait a minute, why is it over here? And so she got killed, and I mean, it's weird because there's this newspaper here from Virginia. Is that where she's from? And just died like on a vacation over there? Well, she's a Pacific Islander, so why are they bringing it up in this? That this seems odd. Okay, well, here we go. So I guess they didn't really do much about it in 1986. Chips are missing. So she's just missing at the time. She was last seen August 18th, 1986. She's considered a runaway juvenile. She was described. Let's. Want to do that one? Let's see what happens on this one. Stacy Kelicoma, 1986, 08, 18. So she's not even in any papers in 1989, even though she went missing in August. So if I go to, let's go to January 1990. It's weird how that's so similar. Wait, no, she went missing 86. Sorry about that. Yeah. Yeah, it was 86. So maybe that's why. 86. 1986, 87. All right, so 87, she starts showing up. You guys even here? Hello? So it says, Kauai police are seeking information about an Aloha girl missing from her home for almost a year. Stacy Kalikoma, 15, was last seen August 18, 1986. She's considered a runaway juvenile. She was described as 5 feet 2, 108 pounds, of Portuguese Hawaiian descent, with brown hair and eyes. This one's in Honolulu, this one. Let's try 1988. Nope. 89. 1990. Stacy Kalikoma, a Kapai teenager who ran away from home to live with her boyfriend on Kauai's North Shore. She was reported missing in 1987. That's sort of weird. 1991. 82 to 2000. Let me get rid of that again. Wonder why they put this one in. Like, there's a little mention of her in Virginia. What would be the point of that? Were they trying to, like, they were sort of thinking somebody did this? I just don't get that at all. Let me see if it's in here. Yeah, she's just renting it. It looked like a duplex too. Wow, there's nothing on this one. And what do they have down? They have her down as an unsolved homicide. So do they actually find her body, or? Let's see, what does this say? On August 18th, 1986, 14-year-old female Stacy H. Kalikoma was reported missing under suspicious circumstances. That's probably an error. Kalikoma was last seen at a party. So they may have declared her dead, but I mean, they haven't found her. Orlando. Florida doesn't have it's not very good for finding anything, articles most of the time. Although we've had pretty good luck lately with the canals, you know. Look at that one. Harry Getz, Unsolved Homicide, 1928. I think didn't we do that one? Let's see. How do you spell that? Those are usually the ones that have way more information than everybody else. I think I lost it. Must have shifted. There he is. Harry Getz. No, I don't see it there. How come that one sounds familiar, though? Harry Getz, 1928. Oh, Washington, huh? That's not good. Well, he's in there. Man killed for potatoes. Jesus. I didn't mean to laugh, but that just sounds ridiculous. Harry Getz of Oakdale paid dearly for 5 sacks of potatoes here Saturday night. Getz was found dead isn't this during the Depression? Getz was found dead in the street near the edge of the city about 10 p.m. Saturday with a bullet hole through his body and his pockets looted of 75 cents. Getz, an employee of the Great Northern Railway for the past 4 years, had come to town to purchase supplies for his house at Oakdale. He had bought 7 sacks of potatoes and piled them on the sidewalk near his car while he went into the Piggly Wiggly store to make a purchase and cash a check for $1. The clerk gave him 75 cents in change, and he left the store. Shortly afterwards, a boy called the town marshal's attention to Getz's car, the engine of which was running. A search revealed the dead man lying in the road with a bullet entering his body from the front and passing through his stomach and back. 5 of the sacks of potatoes were missing, and it is the police's theory that Getz surprised someone in the act of carrying them off and met his death. He is survived by his widow, Clara, a daughter, Doris. The boys' athletic club of the, that's pretty crazy. It's so weird to just think, like, that's in Spokane, Washington. Or, not really, it's in Rosalia. You see, what day was that one? November 6th. Is there any other... Let's see if this says anything. Held up and murdered by unknown bandit. What's this say? Or Paul specific hotel and Harry Getz of Spokane. He's mentioned after that, just as, because these stories back then, it might take a week to get into the... Olympia host to hotel greeters. It's got to be him, though. I mean, how many Harry Getzes are there living in Spokane in 1928? You'd be surprised, Gray. Yeah, poor guy. That one's just... I mean, the odds of that being solved 100 years ago. Getz, who was a laborer on the Great Northern Railroad, had driven to Rosalia to purchase supplies. Yeah. Well, basically, this is 1 year before the Great Depression started, but I'm sure people weren't doing very great, very well even then. That's weird. You kill somebody for a couple sacks of potatoes, man. That sucks. That guy right there. What was that interesting one that we did the other day? That was, I don't know, I guess we all thought it was the husband, but it was some other person. A serial killer, I think. That was an interesting one. Anyways, you guys, I'm going to get going here. Whenever it dies down like that, I could be working on something. But I appreciate you guys being here. We did one of the cold cases, looked at a couple other ones that didn't have a lot of information. But there you go. So thanks, Wild Bill Wassman, Cheryl Bullock, Jim Lawn, Wild Bill Wassman, Chris O'Connell, or I'll go like this. Wild Bill Wassman, Cheryl Bullock, Jim Lawn, Wild Bill Wassman, Chris O'Connell, gifted 5. Then Maribel 9. Then Chris O'Connell. Then Lizzie Robb, Jim Lawn. Yeah. And then, I mean, even a sack of potatoes isn't really, that's not even the greatest thing in the world, Zoli G. Alley Cake. Miss Kyla. Wild Bill Wassman. Then Wild Bill Wassman gifted 1. Then Chris O'Connell gifted 5. Then Joel Burnt gifted 1. Then Timothy Cecil, he challenged there. Then Jim Lawn. Then Wild Bill Wassman gifted 1. Then Alley Cake gifted 1. Then Roger Smith gifted 1. Then Miss Kyla gifted 1. Then Jessica Schubach gifted 1. Then Chris O'Connell gifted 5. Then we had Sherry C. Then Random Bogey. Chris O'Connell gifted 5. Then Jim Lawn. He was laughing at the jokes. And then Chris O'Connell again. Thank you. Then Wild Bill Wassman. Shinobi Business gifted 5. Wild Bill Wassman. Sherry C. Then we had Karen W. gift 5. Then I gifted 5. Then Saturn Dreaming of Mercury gifted 10. And then we had Wild Bill Wassman. Anyways, hope you guys found the show interesting. We got, sounds like in the Nancy Guthrie case, they're looking for the 11th and, 24th or 5th, something like that. I think it was 11th and 24th. Those are a couple dates that law enforcement seem to be specifically asking neighbors. And then we showed some new body camera footage in the Cleveland case of the 2 girls that were murdered by their mother. We showed her being arrested, and then went back over the body camera footage of them finding the suitcases, looking through them, or one of them, anyways. Then we also have. Then we went over a cold case of a woman named Stacy, or not Stacy. Where is it? Well, Christine Shook, who seems to be, maybe she was an exotic dancer, and then they found her body underneath a bridge area. Maybe not right under the bridge, but in Cleveland, right underneath the bridge area. And then, it was only about less than a mile from where she worked. And apparently she was there for enough time where the contents of her stomach were frozen. That means her entire body was frozen. And then it turns out a year to the date of the date that she went missing, somebody put a post in the newspaper, saying, "I love you and I miss you, Bill." And the person's name was Bill. And he posted that on 12/19, but then in the actual newspaper they said they didn't really know what date it was. They went 12?1989. And then there was a person visiting her grave too, so who knows what that is. And then we just went over a couple random ones right there. But anyways, thank you guys. Really appreciate you guys being here. Yeah. All right. Hope you guys thought it was interesting. And we'll see you tomorrow. And who knows what tomorrow will bring. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you then. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. And a 1 and a 2 and a 3.
Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time,
Yeah,
I have
quite a
not seen
while.
one person that is a crime dissector, flag rejector. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector.
I didn't get any coffees, but I
Is
did
my
get
nectar.
a Michael sent a PayPal link. Thanks, Mike.
Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a pup protector. Fool deflector, interceptor, and I'm meaner than a spectre with a vector on his spectre. With all respect, y'all, just remember I'm the type of fucking injection. I have no agenda, I'm no pretender, and I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender.
It's the house!
Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody? Talk to you later.
Thank you for watching Gray Hughes Investigates on YouTube, where we cover true crime using logic, reason, and a pesky thing called common sense. And we sprinkle little facts on the top of that, which nobody else does. Thank you very much for watching. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. See you guys.